Hi, Lisa. Got my fingers crossed today. We'll see how it goes. Happy Thursday, Stampers. This is Barb Reed, the Wexford Stamper, with her Thursday Facebook Live. Hope everyone is doing well. Before we get started, I want to make sure that anybody who has not gotten the new annual catalog and doesn't have a demonstrator, I would love to get one of these into your hands. Today we're going to be featuring the new INCOLORs in our project. Let me go back and show you. There's a section on colors in the catalog, and it lays out all the gorgeous color collections that Stampin' Up! Offers. Now, every year Stampin' Up! Has these 5 Stampin' Up! Collections or color collections: the brights, the neutrals, the regals, the subtles, and the basics. And these colors are always the same. Every once in a while they'll do a realignment, but they're pretty much the same. The ones that change here are the INCOLOR collections, and these are what we're going to be talking about today. An INCOLOR collection is a set of 5 colors that come in and are available for 2 years and then are retired. And the reason Stampin' Up! Does this is they try to stay on trend and offer some colors that are kind of new and trendy and fresh into their color collection to be used. So last year's are right here. That is the Rococo Rose, Terracotta Tile, Pretty Peacock, Seaside Spray, Purple Posy. All those are being held over for 1 more year. And these are our brand new ones that have just launched. The Cinnamon Cider, Just Jade, Bumblebee, Magenta Madness, and Misty Moonlight. All gorgeous, gorgeous colors. So we're going to be focusing on that. And in order to use that, we're going to be using on page 144, they have the 6x6 Designer Series paper in all the different collections, but we're going to be specifically using it in the new INCOLOR collection. And let me show you that right here. This is what's left of my paper, but you get all 5 of the new colors, and then you get them in different patterns. Okay, this is a piece of the Bumblebee, and the Bumblebee comes in a little script, and then there's a kind of a wood grain, and then it also comes in like a, almost like a tie-dye, kind of worn, and then the polka dots. So you have all the different choices in all 5 colors. So that's just a great way to be able to coordinate with the brand new paper and the ink and everything. That's what's so great about Stampin' Up! They make everything coordinate. All right, now here is my little bookmark that I have that shows our new INCOLORs, and this is our project today. We're going to be making this little birthday box, and the reason why it's a birthday treat box is because it has a birthday cake flavored Kit Kat in it. And I've always been a big candy eater and lover, and whenever I see something come out new, it always catches my eye. And as soon as I saw this, I thought of what a cute way to give someone a little birthday treat. So now the one we made here, I made with my team just a few days ago, and we're going to make it again today, but instead of in the Magenta Madness, which we made here, we're going to make it using the Just Jade. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in my scoring board, and I'm going to bring in my paper. Now remember, we're going to be using Just Jade today, and let me give you the directions. All right, the size of the paper you're going to use for this is 8 3/4 by 5. All right, so you're going to start out with an 8 3/4 by 5 size of cardstock. This case, we're using the Just Jade. All right, so let's go ahead and do some scoring. On the long side, we're going to first score at 2 1/4, 2 3/4, 5 1/2, 6. Okay, I will have all these measurements on my blog. Lisa, let me know how things are coming through there. Better today. All right, and then I'm going to turn it on the short side, and you're going to score at 1/2 on each end. So the way I do this is I do 1/2 here, and then I turn my paper and do 1/2 here. Okay, so that is all the scoring we need to do for today. Pretty easy box, very straightforward. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my bone folder, and I'm going to start creasing on all my score lines. Hope everyone's having a great day. Today seems the weather is a little nicer, not so hot today. Very nice and sunny. The neighbors are out walking, so I'm going to make it a great day. All right, so there is all my score lines creased. All right, now when you look at your box, you're going to notice here that these two panels are wider than this one here. So you have two wide panels and then a more narrow one. And how that works is this panel up here is going to be the lid. This panel is the back of the box, and then this panel is the one that flops up to put your happy birthday on. Okay, so you want to make sure you're understanding which is which, so you're cutting the right end. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is take our scissors, and we're going to cut in from the sides on all those score lines, stopping at the horizontal score line, just to make these little tabs that are going to help us put our box together. Now I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go ahead and put little wedges in there, so when we put it together, the box corners will not be too busy with paper, and they'll lay together nicely, and it won't make it hard to slide your Kit Kat bar in there. All right. So that's actually all the cutting that we need to do as far as the little flaps are concerned. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead, and remember we talked about the smaller panel here and then two larger. Well, we're going to go to the larger top panel there, and we're going to cut all the way down, okay, through, even through that little flap that we cut. Okay, just like that. Okay, so we're really only going to have the two flaps there that we're going to need to use. Okay, so let's go ahead and start putting the box together. Now, before we do that, we're going to add our piece of Designer Series paper. This is from the 6x6 pack of Designer Series paper, 2020-2022, Just Jade. And this is cut at 2 5/8 by 3 7/8. And I'm going to grab my Tombow and put a little bit on the back. And I'm going to stick it right to that panel where we cut off the sides, because this is going to be the front flap. All right. Now, this is going to be the flap here that is going to flap up on the inside. And if you look at our other one, this is where I put my little happy birthday panel. All right. So if it's going to flap up this way, it's important that we hold it this way to put our message on. So I'm going to bring in that white Whisper White flap, and we're going to do some stamping quickly. And that's 3 3/4 by 2. All right, I'm going to bring in this cute little happy birthday. I love the font of this one. And it's from the Peaceful Moments stamp set. And I'm just going to use a little bit of Memento ink. And I'm just going to stamp this kind of towards the top so that we can have a little bit of space to sign our name. And I'm going to turn that over, put some Tombow on the back, and then I'm going to stick that right to the smaller panel. Okay. Okay, now let's get ready to put our box together. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put some Tombow on these tiny little tabs, and we're going to hide them behind the larger panel. Okay, so they go behind the larger panel, not the happy birthday panel. So we're going to bend those down and hide that behind. And by hiding, you're going to go ahead and take the fold of that flap and line it up right with the side panel there. And then we're going to squeeze that for a couple seconds. Tombow doesn't take very long to adhere. All right, now we're going to close the front panel, and to do that, we're going to go ahead and put our glue on the inside of our happy birthday panel, just a little bit there. We're going to close it up, and then we're going to hold those on the side. And another great thing you can do is grab your Kit Kat and slide it in there, and that gives you a little more resistance while you're holding those panels in. Now they're staying, and then our box comes right over. Now, I finished it a little bit differently on the top here. I didn't like that straight edge there, or the corner, so I took my scissors and I just snipped corner to corner there to give it a little bit of a different finish. You can leave it square if you like, but I went ahead and I cut those off. There you are. So now we put that in, and we close it over, and there we go. There's our box, all finished. Pretty easy. Now let's go ahead and do some fun embellishing on the front. Okay, before we get started on our embellishments, I'm going to take this piece of just jade, just an extra strip from the cardstock, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that across. Maybe about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom of the front panel. There we go. All right, just a few more things to do here. We're going to bring in our stitched oval. This oval comes from the Stitch Shapes. They've got ovals, they've got circles, and there's also some squares that you can use as well. All right, so we're going to use the stitched oval today. And we're going to grab another one of our stamps. And this one is a great sentiment for birthday. This calls for confetti. And that one comes from the So Sentimental stamp set. Love this stamp set. And what I do on the inside is I make a picture of the different dies that go with it. So this is the one that has all those gorgeous layering, scalloped, stitched rectangles, and then these stitched labels. This is a fabulous set. So I'm going to be using this one, and again I'm going to bring in my Memento ink, and I'm going to go ahead and put my sentiment as best I can in the middle without you having to see the top of my head. There we go. And that's how easy that is. All right, now we have one more step, and that includes this gorgeous INCOLOR ribbon. This is the Just Jade, and let's see what it tells us about this ribbon. It just says INCOLOR ribbon, so it doesn't really give you any type of what kind it is. It feels like it's a cotton ribbon, and it has kind of a zigzag pattern texture to it. Nice and soft, nice and smooth. So it's a great one to use for any kind of project you're working on. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a piece of this, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap it around almost like a I'm trying to think of the survivor ribbon. Okay, just kind of going over itself like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to even it up. Okay, and that's going to go right like that. Okay, now to do that, I'm going to take my This Calls for Confetti, I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of that. Let me grab my dimensionals. And I'm going to really lay on the dimensionals for this because it's going to help me to secure my ribbon as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put 4 dimensionals on the back of the oval. And then when I put it down on my box, it will work to secure the ribbon there as well. Kind of doing 2 jobs for one. All right, so let's bring our jade ribbon back. And we're going to go ahead and lay that on the front of our box. Okay. And here comes our sentiment, and we're going to kind of lay it right towards the middle so that we have our little tails and then our little bit sticking out there. And there's our embellishment. The cute little ribbon adds a lot to it. And then you open it up, and there's your happy birthday message. So these are so fun to make. Would be a great little gift to put on someone's desk or to put in a coworker's box, just to let them know that you remembered it was their birthday and that you went out of the way and you got a special Kit Kat birthday cake style. So that is my tutorial for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, don't forget you can always message me, or you can go to my blog at www.thewexfordstamper.blogspot.com and get all the information about this project as well as this video tutorial. Take care and have a wonderful weekend. See you next Tuesday.